I love to talk to farmers anytime and always. And if they grow corn and are contributing to the checkoff or are members of the Growers Association in Illinois or whatever state they may be from, they're making a huge deal and are an important part of the story with the U.S. Grains Council.
Thank you for joining us today, Ellen.
My pleasure. Excited to be here.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump right into some questions. This year marks the 65th anniversary of the U.S. Grains Council. Looking back, what are some of the biggest trade successes that have directly benefited Illinois corn farmers?
Great question. And we're really excited to celebrate our 65th anniversary this year. And we have some exciting ways to celebrate in the coming months over the year. So I wanted to share just like two quick stories that I think really speaks to the work that the council does and benefits Illinois corn farmers. So the very first demand building program that we did, we took hogs from Iowa actually and lifted them. They flew in an airplane to Japan. Japan was experiencing a hog herd reduction. And so we took some of those really good US genetics and placed them in Japan. And of course, that really increased their feed demand. So that is kind of the original program of the US Grains Council. And now Japan is still routinely a top customer, top five as a corn buyer, but we're really excited for the opportunities in ethanol in that market now. And Illinois corn has played a really important role in that program over the last like 5 to 7 years of really getting market access. And Japan going from EBTE to looking to direct blend and then into sustainable aviation fuel, which will continue to drive demand. And grateful for Illinois' support and partnership in that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. With continued global trade challenges and shifting demand, where do you see the greatest opportunities for Illinois corn and ethanol in the next 5 years?
So this is always a really fun question, but a really hard question because, I could do top five potential markets for each of our commodities. So I am going to try and grab markets that apply to multiple commodities. The first one that's top of mind for me is India. They are a net importer of feed grains. And so there's a great opportunity to get corn and DDGs into that market for their livestock population. And then on the ethanol front, they're already at an E10 blend and moving to an E20 blend. And so we have the traditional fuel markets there, but we're also doing a lot of work with clean cooking stoves in India, which is kind of a different use and a really neat way to make an impact and speak to our mission of developing markets, enabling trade, and improving lives, because switching to clean cooking ethanol in those homes is a huge improvement, affordable, safer for those families in India. We're also doing similar work for clean cooking in Africa, in different countries in Africa. And there's a lot of potential there for feed grains too. We just had our first shipment of DDGs into Tunisia in 2022. And so that was a really exciting moment for the Grains Council and really building on that momentum. Same with some of the poultry work that we're doing there. And there's some great opportunity for ethanol in countries like Nigeria, where they're really looking to kind of expand their imports in that way.
Awesome. So great to hear about all of the great things that you're doing with that. What's your message to Illinois farmers who might be wondering if their investment in global trade efforts really makes a difference on their farm's bottom line?
Great question. I love to talk to farmers anytime and always. And if they grow corn and are contributing to the checkoff or are members of the Growers Association in Illinois or whatever state they may be from, they're making a huge deal and are an important part of the story with the U.S. Grains Council. We take our member dollars and apply them to federal grants. And with that, we're able to double the contribution of members. So we get at least a dollar for every member dollar that we receive. And then the ROI on those is really huge. It's documented for market access program and foreign market development that the ROI for those programs specifically is $24 for every $1 spent. So that's a huge win for Illinois farmers. And we're increasing ways that we are adding funding to our programs. So the Regional Agricultural Promotion Program, or RAP, as we like to say, is new. We're about 18 months into that program. And we, as the U.S. Grains Council, have gotten $33 million for expanded programming around the world, which is, again, great ways that we can break down ROIs and ways that the work we're doing through the support of Illinois Corn is really benefiting their bottom line.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Illinois Corn and USGC have been partners now for 51 years. Can you share a favorite memory you have with Illinois Corn or board members?
I love that we've been partners for 51 years. And I feel very fortunate that I feel like I've been a partner of Illinois Corn for more than I've been with the council. So I've been with the U.S. Grains Council for 4 years, but previously I worked for Ohio Corn and Wheat. So the equivalent of Illinois Corn in Ohio. And so that actually leads to my first favorite memory with Illinois Corn staff. I actually shadowed Lyndi Mitchell there at Illinois Corn for like 2 days to learn. My role was very similar in Ohio that her role was at the time for Illinois Corn. And so she was like my first state staff friend that I got to meet and got to come to the Illinois Corn office, meet everyone, and just get gained a ton of understanding and a lifelong friend with Lyndi Mitchell. So that's my first memory. And that was back in 2015. So not 51 years ago, but still some time ago. Crazy that Lyndi and I are coming up on our 10-year anniversary as friends. And then another memory I have with Illinois Corn is, of course, Jim Rabin. Jim is a past chair of the U.S. Grains Council. And again, our history goes back further. I got to travel to Argentina with Jim in 2016 when I was at Ohio. And so it was just so much fun to get to reconnect with him when he was the chair of the council. Did Farm Progress show with Jim. So 3 really great days with him working that farm show. And then finally, got to give a shout out to my good friend Colin Waters. Get to spend a lot of time with him traveling on different missions and programs and conferences. Specifically, we had a really great time in Vienna on a strategic planning program, and then Marrakesh, which was a similar kind of global strategy type planning meeting. And so always really enjoy any time I get to spend with the folks at Illinois Corn.
Why don't grains ever get lost in international trade?
I got nothing. No clue.
Because they always follow the supply chain.
That's great. That's amazing. And I agree. We have a great supply chain in the U.S. We're fortunate for the great infrastructure.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Ellen. We appreciate all of the knowledge that you've shared with us.
Thank you so much.